What's good? What's good with y'all today, man? I just want to do a part two to the conversation that I had previously about hip hop. Is hip hop contributing to the destruction of the black community? I hope y'all enjoyed that show, man. It was very intriguing. It was very thought provoking, man. And I got two important brothers that I want to converse with and ask them questions about it, man, because it was a dope conversation, man. It was a real dope conversation. And I see y'all see what I titled like the abbreviation of the title of the podcast. Stay in your lane. This is the part that where I speak how I've been and try to give a little bit of motivation and a little bit of encouragement to individuals who may be having a tough time. But stay in your lane, man. It's like continue to do you. Continue to work on God's timing. Continue to focus on what you need to focus on. Don't care about what others are doing. Don't get in competition with other people because they may be doing better than you at the moment, or it may look like they doing better than you at the moment. But just stay focused, man. Stay in your lane. Keep moving the direction you want to go. You know what I mean? And focus on what God has for you. Don't try to get out here and achieve and do things on your own without walking with God, because you could get out there and then you could have anxiety because it's you controlling the shit for real instead of you working on God's timing. Real talk though, man. But let me call up one of my homies, man. My first homie, Lex Lucchese, man. He's a very intelligent brother, and ask him the question, man. Is hip hop contributing to the destruction of the black community? Let's do it. Hold up. I only got the Bluetooth hooked up to the roadcaster. Got to get the Bluetooth hooked up first. I won't make no technical difficulties already, Trail. Technical difficulties already. What's going on, Lex, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? What's up?
I'm blessed. Man. I appreciate you being able to make time to have this discussion with me, man. You know, your opinion is highly valued, man. Real talk. But
Oh, cool, cool.
the question I wanted to ask you though was, is hip hop, from your perspective, do you think it's contributing to the destruction of the black community at all in any kind of way?
Well, you know something, that is a multifaceted and heavily tiered and sometimes provocative question that you ask because, I mean, you could ask the same question saying, are video games contributing to
Oh,
the destruction of the black community? Because, you know, they have these video games that people are shooting each
you
other and things like that. And it
do,
takes away the,
do you
for a
got
kid, it takes,
do you got headphones on, Lex? You sound kind of muffled, like you.
hold on a
There
second.
you go. There you go.
Can, can you hear me?
You crispy now, fam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to adjust something. And what I'm saying is these kids they have these video games and they shoot and kill people, you know, all day, every day. And they get shot and they get back up. And what people don't realize is in real life, when you get shot, confetti doesn't come out, you know?
Yeah, you don't spawn back to life right quick.
Yeah, you don't respawn or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And, you know, as far as hip hop is concerned, uh, it's a very broad question whenever you ask it, you know, in the context that you ask it. I would say that, you know, certain certain aspects or tiers of hip hop's many parallel
Hmm.
different styles and changes over time. It's just like to me, it's like some of the versions of hip hop, or they call it hip hop, has
Yeah.
been radicalized to show people or teach people or tell people to do things that society would not accept. And you know, I mean, in a way, I've been responsible for some of that, but really not because I'm not responsible for what people have said on my tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they get the tracks off of me, and then when I hear them, I'm like, oh well, he's talking about
He's talking reckless.
Well,
He's talking reckless on the song.
yeah, and I've had people talk really crazy on records I did. And people
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, you produced that track?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I produced it, but it's not like I was telling him what to say. He wrote what he was going to say."
Yeah, yeah. And
But I feel like,
hip hop has multiple genres in the genre now. You have trap, you have drill, you have gangster rap, you have the 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 sing songy rap now, and it's just hip hop is multifaceted now.
well, you know something. When you try to tell, I've noticed there's a big disconnect between the elders and the kids uh, going on right now because if you try to tell kids something, they're like, "Oh, you're an old man." And I always tell them, I'm like, "What? Consider the alternative to that.
Yeah,
The only way you can be young forever is to be young forever. So
yeah.
that would mean you cease to exist on this realm of living, right?"
Hmm. Yeah, because the young kids are old to the kids that's younger than them. Time really doesn't exist, but we ain't going there. That ain't a topic for that though.
Well, no, time, the existence of time. I mean, you got to think about it. Uh, just because somebody's body changes um, doesn't affect their knowledge or their effectiveness in society in order to change it or make it better.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But somebody will look at somebody and they have gray hair or whatever, and say, "Oh, you an old man, man. You ain't old man. Why I got to talk to you?" I know everybody's heard that before. Once you get up in age, right?
Hmm.
So they're not listening to people anymore. So therefore, you know, they don't realize that when you tell them, if you kill someone, you kill their whole family
Yeah.
because
Ooh.
it destroys the entire structure of happiness that has taken somebody's family years to build. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They never get over it.
Yeah, that's true.
It changes the direction of their family because it creates depression and people go in these weird directions and downfalls and it's a horrible thing to witness.
Hmm.
But as far as hip hop affecting the destruction of black community, I would say no because I mean you can't tell somebody if you tell somebody to do something on a song or you talk about what you're doing on a song
Yeah,
and somebody listens to your song and they say I'm going to go do that, which I've seen a million times.
yeah. They're weak, really.
Then yeah, weak minded, and there's a disconnect between their parenting,
Hmm.
and people like I've seen people that didn't have to didn't have to hustle. We not you know what man hustling they need to change some things about that definition because hustling is doing things to get things you need because you had to.
It's a survival
So therefore
tactic.
you had to hustle.
Yeah.
Now if you come from an upper middle class or a rich neighborhood and you go out and you do some things that you don't have to do just to look tough, that's not called hustling. That's called stupidity.
Foolishness. Yeah.
Yeah, it's foolishness because I know people that do things. You know, like yourself, even. You had your past, which you completely changed.
Yeah.
100. Did a 180, different direction, right?
720.
And um, the things that you were doing, you weren't being violent or anything, but I mean, you were doing things because you had to. There are people that didn't want to live in a cardboard box. They didn't want their mama's power getting cut off, and they did what they had to do. That's
Yeah.
hustling.
I hated hustling. It was mandatory. I hated it, Lex.
But then you see people that do it because that's where they see all the women. The women that are around that are you know they're perverted by the attraction of either the money or the drugs or the excitement of being around that. But if you look at them in a few years, if they stay within that realm, I've never seen a good outcome from it.
Yeah, the attention. That's the attention is what they got from it. And they wanted that attention.
So I've seen people listen to tracks and then they go buy, go out and buy an album, and next thing you know, you see them next week and not wearing uh, uh, khaki shorts and a polo shirt and uh, driving slippers like which I currently have on right now. But uh, You see them, like, bandana and, and the whole thing, and the whole nine.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, okay, so now you're in a gang and your dad owns a big ass farm
You from a middle class
and
family.
from a rich family,
Yeah, rich.
and
Yeah,
then
you
you
from.
get out here like I'm gonna get tattoos and I'm gonna get on dope, all that stuff. And you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I
And then
understand you clear.
there's a lot of stuff that is driving. I mean, this world has gone, really.
To
Uh,
it's crazy at this time, the world that we live in. It's crazy, the topics and the discussions that we can have because of the things that is not normal that's being normalized now.
well, yeah, but I mean, another thing is the lack of uh, education because the teachers
Mm.
aren't. A lot of the teachers are just going there to get their check,
Yeah,
and
they don't care.
then they redline the districts, and then the poor schools,
Mm.
the black communities don't get any money because the congressmen and people like that have been changing the districts around.
Break down red line in the district though, because I just got the phone my boy talking about some ish.
Okay, well, see, when they redline the district, literally what they're doing, they do it really to affect the outcome of elections.
Mm-hmm.
But in the background, it also controls where money is going.
Mm.
So if you got uh, somebody puts I think they're trying to do this in Memphis. Somebody put $1 billion complex somewhere near an urban neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So now they're trying to redline and cut that business district out, so their district can collect the tax money.
Oh, that's
So what they
crazy.
do is they did it in Knoxville, on the east side. They redlined that district and pushed everybody that had left into that district. And there's not really a whole lot of really big successful businesses in that area
That's true. That's true.
that they can pay into the tax system in order for their schools to be better and things like that.
So they moving the money where they want it to go to, basically.
Yeah, they control it. They
Yeah.
control it, and you can tell because you go out and look at, say case in point like Farragut or
Mm-hmm.
or in Atlanta, you see, like the Buckhead district, Tuxedo area, and things like that.
And they moving out of Buckhead. A lot of people that don't go to Atlanta often, the Buckhead community is mad right now. They moving further out. The people with the money.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's some beautiful houses in Buckhead. If you right on the main strip, if you go over about 3 blocks over there,
But
man,
you
it's some
know,
beautiful houses over there.
violence brings the value down, and that's what's going on. It don't matter how big and beautiful the home is. If the violence come there, then the value go down. But the question, like, to end out the conversation, Lex, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy man enjoying the beautiful nature, looking at the trees and the, you know what I'm saying, and your farm and your grass and stuff, man. I'm jealous. I'm player hating, but
Oh,
do
you ain't got to hate on me. You
I,
want some tomatoes?
please, I want the green ones because I want to fry me some fried
Well, you
green.
better hurry and get them.
Ooh, are they big tomatoes, Paws?
Yeah, they're about the size of a softball, something like that.
Golly, boy,
And they're everywhere out here, and blackberries and everything, zucchini and squash. I got it, but great
oh man,
peaches.
stop flexing, Lex.
But no, I'm not flexing though. But you know something? You know what I try to tell people is the most important thing you can do with your life is search for peace. And a lot of the kids aren't doing it now. They've been taught the wrong way.
They
I'm
teaching.
not looking for conflict. I don't. I get away from conflict.
Yeah,
And what kids need to realize is if you're staying in a room, your morality will naturally kick in. And if you start feeling like you're not supposed to be there, then leave.
yeah. A lot of
You
kids
know, and
can't.
it,
A lot of kids searching for money. They can't be alone and enjoy themselves. Like how you doing? You alone enjoying yourself. You can
yeah.
be at peace and be and feel appreciated, feel accomplished alone. A lot of people can't be alone. They start getting anxiety attacks because they don't feel like they're valuable if don't nobody want to talk to them.
Well, you know something. You know that's sad to hear because if I talk to no one, I still find value in myself. That's what's allowed me to transition to the man I have in the last 10 years.
Hmm.
Because I started leaving a lot of things alone and not going places that I used to go because I realized that uh, literally I'm in a situation where a lot of people wish they were,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
and
true.
and I try to explain to people that they can get to a place where they want to be. It's easy,
Yeah,
but the thing is you have to. I mean, look at you, dude. You went from that job interview and that conversation we had to where you are now, and you're ascending, right?
that's a fact, man. I appreciate it, man. You gave me a ride to that thing, man. If people don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm proud of you for that. I mean, I gave you a ride to, I gave you
Yeah,
a ride to your job interview,
yeah.
and you know, uh, people now that see you that could have given you that ride because you got to keep in mind. Remember, I drove 60 miles to go give you a ride to a job interview,
That's true.
and you got to keep in mind that there were people around you that could have
It
easily
was
given you a
people
ride. But
5 miles away that wouldn't even come speak to me. And you,
yeah, but
yeah,
you called me and I was like, okay, you all right, give me. I'm glad you called me early. Give me about 45 minutes and I'll be there.
yeah, yeah.
And that's because I saw what was in your heart, and I knew that you were going somewhere,
Man, I
and I was
appreciate
going to
that.
make sure you got to the places you go. And you're not the only person that I've done that sort of thing for. So uh, it's just that sometimes people will arrive at a position and they get their etch a sketch memory going on, and they forget how they got there.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I don't ask anybody for anything, but you know what? You and I have been friends. We're going to be friends for forever.
That's true. That's true.
Because of mutual respect. And as far as the hip hop thing is concerned, I hope that I'm working on something. I'm working on something near you. You know what I'm talking about with
That's
the university.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what we are going to try to do is we're going to try to set up a beacon for kids to come somewhere and learn something about this industry and leave with a positive message in their hearts where they can go out and deliver that message to other people. And hopefully we will uh, set off a transition or a change in what's going on. Because literally right now, I talked to one of my friends in the industry, and he was talking about Gordy is a friend of his, and he started Motown. Right?
Mhm.
There's a group that just got signed to Motown, and Gordy said he would never in his life sign off on that because that's not what Motown was.
Yeah.
Motown was Marvin Gaye and the Temptations. You know what I mean?
It wasn't hip hop, it was soul.
Yeah, but now they've got these people in here that are just signing artists for the bottom line. It's a money game. There are a lot of really good musicians and artists out there that aren't getting deals because there's some girls out there shaking their ass in the song,
Yeah.
and they're going to put their album out.
It's a money play. It ain't about the quality of anything no more. The quality
And
of
then you got
anything don't matter no more.
then you got master guitar players that can't get a gig, and these people are just you know showing their ass
And
on videos.
you gotta give the people what they want. That's how they playing it now.
Well, I mean, oh no, really, you got to force what you think the people want down this road and make them like it because it's the only thing that they hear on the radio.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because they control that too. So, as far as there's a lot of people that are responsible for the negative things that occur because of somebody listening to a song, but these parents have got to get control of their kids
Yeah,
and bad parenting people and just leaving their kids out to. If you're not going to take care of the child, then don't have the children.
that's true. That's true, ladies. Hey, but
Is it
my last question that's on that in that topic of that lane is do black people even have a community by the definition of community?
what would you consider the definition of community? Are you
Only
talking about doing trade? We used to have communities like Rosewood and places like that where we had our own trade within itself, and
yeah,
the money was coming in and
yeah,
staying in the communities. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tulsa and all of that. That-
And
that's why I made this whole podcast. Is it contributing to the the disruption of the black community? See the
no,
community.
you know what the disruption of the black community is that somewhere along, a lot of black folks won't do business with other black folks. You know that, right?
Talk to me.
They won't go. My family had a store in the town that I'm from, it was I was importing. I was an international art importer back in the late '90s, early 2000s. You like for side gigs, right?
Yep.
And we were bringing statues in from Africa and paintings, and prints from the 1600s and really really expensive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And very few black people came in the store. Very few,
Yeah.
but they knew it was there.
Mm.
But they,
Don't
I don't know. There's a
support it.
disconnect. Yeah, there's a disconnect in uh, black society where they don't support each other's endeavors to the extent that they should.
And,
And I don't know. There's a lot of places that try. I'm not going to say that they don't,
mm-hmm.
but I mean, there's a big disconnect, bro. It's a big disconnect where people will not do business. They'll get screw faced, and I'm not doing it. Because I think that we've been over time in the 60s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. The black family was tight as ever because of segregation and fighting battles. You know what I mean?
It's the slave.
Discrimination and things like that.
It's still the slave mentality. We can't come together to own no banks and own no farms where we can feed each other and own grocery stores and own our own dealerships where we selling our own cars and stuff. Like that's what I
Yeah,
mean
our
by
own banks. Yeah,
yeah, that's
our
what I
own
mean.
banks and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean by community, Lex. Like we don't even have a community for hip hop to be able to affect it. That's the whole thought process of this podcast.
Yeah, we don't have. I mean, when we did have successful black communities like Tulsa and in Florida and
Mm-hmm.
even in Knoxville, they
Right.
did it in Knoxville. They Central Avenue and all that downtown area down there, the old city.
That was the black community, wasn't it? That
It
we
was all
what
black businesses,
now
and
what
they burned it down.
now where was that at in
And
Florida? Was that Jacksonville or St. Pete, the
it
area?
was it Rosewood?
Rosewood. That's in St. Petersburg, ain't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's in
But they
St.
had the same thing in Live Oak, because
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother is from Jamaica, but my dad was from Duval County. I got family from the top to the bottom of Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what they did was is they would see the black people were driving fancy cars and had uh, beautiful houses in their own community and theaters and grocery stores and all that.
Yeah.
And the white people was like, they can't do that. They've got more than us.
Yeah, they doing better than us. What's going on here?
So we're going to go over there and blow it up because they're violent.
Mm.
And that's just, that's what it was.
And that
They use their violence.
and that wasn't even a reality that we are violent. That was their perception of us when in our reality that they was violent and they just came and tore up our things. But that's crazy.
Well, I mean, you got to see it, you got to see it January 6th at the Capitol. I mean, it's uh, I don't disparage white people at all whatsoever because there are a lot of people in the community that ain't for that, but there's always the few that are.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to heal any community, it has to repair itself from within that community.
And the
You can't have
exactly.
outsiders come in and point fingers and say you need to do this because it's never going to happen. They're not going to listen. It has to be people that are next to the problem, that grew up with the problem, to fix the problem.
I gotta give you some hand claps, Lex. Hold on. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you. That was
So you notice the Hispanic people when they came to America and they established their community, they got their own community.
yeah.
They're booming.
Instantly.
They got their own stores, on every this that, and then you got the black folks looking in like how they get all that. Well, there's a Hispanic club near about 15, 20 miles away from me. When I have a job out there on Saturday night, there's 200, 300 cars in the parking lot.
Yeah, they supporting each other, man.
Yeah,
We support each other, but then violence happen at the place that we supporting each other at. Like if you throw an event, some violence happen, then it just hinders the growth of it.
yeah, they ruin somebody's going to come in and ruin a business for you because either A, they're jealous, or B, that they're, you know, the. I've always been told, my grandmother always told me that the quicker someone is to escalate into violence during social discourse, the more ignorant they are.
The quicker someone is to resort to violence.
Listen, the quicker someone escalates to violence during social discourse, which means a disagreement,
Yeah,
the more ignorant they are, the less intelligent they are. So if you see somebody and they're having a conversation about a disagreement, I've seen people, you've seen this before, people talking about
yeah,
basketball, and they
yeah,
say, they're scrapping,
yeah. That's true.
and then guns come out. That's ignorant.
Yeah, that's a lack of
Be-
education.
Because if somebody gets in an argument with me, I'm leaving. I'm just going to be like, okay, well, I mean, uh, I hate that you disagree with my point, but I mean, okay, it's
Yeah,
cool.
it
I'm
get
not
to
going to start yelling at him, or yelling at them.
it come to a point to where when you educated enough, you can't be bothered by other people's actions. You
Yeah,
can't even be bothered by them because that's who they are. That's the demon inside of them, or that's of the lack of knowledge they have. You see the real the inner situation going on before you let the reaction make you do something on the outside. You ain't gonna react. You just gonna
yeah. So you get an
internalize it.
argument with somebody, you get into an argument with somebody, and then you start losing the argument, and you're like, all right, I'm going to punch him in the face, and that's where it all starts going sideways.
Yeah, that's true.
Or that's what leads to a lot of violence in clubs and things like that. You stepped on my shoes,
Yeah, that's true.
or you looked at my girl, and then people start whooping, and then the pride comes in because you don't want to seem like a coward. But you know what? I don't. Number one, I don't go to clubs anymore. I haven't been to club in years.
Nah,
And
it ain't meant for that. Once
number
you
two is if somebody gets in an argument with me, I'll walk away, and I will come back to my house or whatever I'm doing, and I'll sit out here and have a glass of Merlot and not even worry about what they're doing because I know that eventually they're going to run into somebody else and do the same thing. That's what they do.
that's true, Lex.
So I'll walk away from it. I don't care what you say to me.
That's
Now, if I
true.
feel like you're going to hurt me, that's a whole different story, and that's not what you want to do. But I'll get away from them. If you push me or whatever, if you're on in front of people, I'm gonna walk away.
Hmm.
But if there's if you try to hurt me, then I have to defend myself. However, until then, I'm walking away. No matter what you say to me or how bad you might make me look to people, I'll walk away because I can come right back here and sit on my deck or ride around in my convertible or whatever, and not even think about you or anybody else and being in the slipstream of the planet.
That's what's up, man.
And more people need to learn how to do that. Just leave.
Hmm. Hey, man, but
But
I got to get some more callers in her, Lex. I highly appreciate your perspective, man. You know I value you. You my friend, you my dog, man. I got to get these callers in her, man. And when I get off this show, I'm gonna hit you right back just to chop it up with you, my brother.
all right, sounds good, bro. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll catch you later.
Thank you, fam.
See you.
Yeah. Hey, that was my guy Lex, man. His perspective was long now. My boy Lex, he gave a dope perspective. He said he don't think that hip hop is affecting the black community. He broke it down in multiple ways. He said that the communities have been affected internally. People have been not healing internally. The community has to heal internally before you can see any growth externally. That's a great perspective to me, man. But let me call one of my guys, man, like my player partner, my boy. I gotta hit him up, man. Gotta hit him up now. The truth.
What's going on, fam? Can you hear me?
I can hear you clear, family. I can hear you clear. What's going down, fam?
Not much, man. Just hanging out with the kids. What's going on?
Man, I just had to hit you to get your perspective on that topic that man you had discussed before we even got on the pod, man. Is hip hop contributing to the destruction of the black community, fam? What's your thoughts on that though, school?
Oh, are we live on the pod now?
We live, fam. We live, fam.
Oh, okay. What's the question again?
Like, what's your thoughts on hip hop? Do you think that it is contributing to the destruction of the black community, or is it just the black community destructing itself from the inside out?
Yeah, I think
the destruction always comes from within, you know. So it's easy to point the finger at something, you know, and
Ooh,
say this is the reason why I'm this way, or this is the reason why this is this way. But when we do that, right,
yeah.
that's being a victim, right? And I think
Ooh,
victimhood is probably worse than hip hop per se, because we have a choice to listen to what kind of genre of music that we want to.
yeah,
And then when we talk about hip hop, think about it. If you talk about hip hop, right? There is positive hip hop music.
yeah.
So you know, because my kids like hip hop, but
Hmm.
they don't know some of the artists that I know. They know like the Lecrae's and
Yeah.
1K Few, and you know, people kind of speaking positive, no cursing,
Hmm.
you know, good beats and stuff like that. So that's still hip hop, but it's positive and it don't have the language in it. You get what I'm saying?
You gave a great perspective, fam, because ain't nobody gave that perspective. You have a choice to be a victim or not.
That's what we do though. In the I think that's the one thing in the black community that we got to get over, man. Like it's playing the victim. It's saying, well, this happened to us years ago, or this case is you know whatever the reason may be, instead
Hmm.
of looking at the now. So when we look at America right now, right,
Hmm.
feel how you feel about America, but I'm telling you right now, in America right now, you have choices, and you can actually be whatever you want to be, all the way up to the president of the United States.
That's true.
And so I don't care what limitations that you claim that are in your way. There's always a detour,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And so we can't blame anybody on our successes. I mean, on our lack of opportunity
Yeah.
or failures, because you've made certain decisions, right?
Yeah.
And
You
so
just
when we talk about victimhood, like for example, I hate when I see because this happened a lot in Knoxville. I see, you know, especially on the east side, especially last year, earlier this year.
yeah.
There's a few killings, right,
Hmm.
in the city, right?
Hmm.
And then they go to the city, they interview people in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood say, "Well, what is the mayor going to do? What is the city going to do?" Blah blah. Man, the mayor them don't care about. They don't live in those neighborhoods.
That's not their
You like
responsibility.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Like those same kids that's in the neighborhood doing those crimes, those are your kids. Those are your nephews. Those are your niece, your nephew or cousins. Like
Hmm.
we gotta raise our kids to be whatever we want them to be. And then if they turn out to be murderers or drug dealers or whatever, then we gotta own that. We cannot blame that on city elected officials
Yeah.
that don't live in those communities, bro.
Yeah.
That's victimhood.
Yeah. And
And we always quick to point the finger. I hate when we do that.
because it weakens the community, and what I the reason I brought this topic apart too, Scoop, is because I don't even know by the definition of community that black folk even have a community, fam.
I know because it's like one for all, right?
Yeah.
Or no, I can say that. Another thing that we deal with in the black community now is everybody got to think a certain way, right? Like if
Mm,
you black and you say you a Republican, oh man, you ain't with us or blah blah blah, right?
yeah.
Because they want everybody to think the same. So
Yeah.
they want everybody to be Democrat. They want everybody to support Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
They want everybody to
Fall
have
in line.
fall in line.
Yeah.
Okay, support hip hop. You know some of that stuff you don't want your kids listening to. You know,
Hmm.
you got you know like with the tattoos, the jewelry, and the dreads. That's the kind of the little hip hop starter kit there. You know what I mean?
That's
But
true.
everybody don't have to be that way. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And so if you go the other way, then what do we say about people who go the other way? Oh
That
man, you a sellout, you
you
a Uncle
lame.
Tom,
Yeah.
you acting white.
Are you a
What?
coon? Yeah, that's crazy. Because like, why can't we support our people even though they have a difference of opinion? We should
I
still be.
think the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Go now. You go ahead, fam. My fault. I'm cutting you off.
man, I think it's dangerous when everybody thinks the same way.
Yeah.
We gotta have differences of opinion because there's 300 over 350 million people in America. Everybody ain't gonna think the same. We gotta have differences of opinion. We gotta have some people on this side, some people on that side. Because what does that do? That provides balance.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if life didn't have no balance, where you gonna be at?
It's crazy to
You
even
gotta have balance.
you gotta have balance, and you can't get 10 people in the room to agree on the same thing, let alone you want 6 million people to fall in line. That's impossible.
Like I hate the fact that black people are anti-police, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why, right? We're like, man, that's the cops, man. You don't like the cops, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna tell you what I think we need. I think we need black cops, more black cops,
Yeah. Yeah.
because if we had more black cops, that will outweigh or that will balance the bad seeds that are in the police ranks that might be white, right?
That's true.
Because say you had a racist white cop on a beat. Well, you got a black cop on that same beat. So when they meet up at the situation, guess what? He ain't gonna be tripping because he got another black dude right there on the scene,
That can
which is a cop.
Yeah, that can relate to
That
the person.
right then, if black people were cops and you get a call in the project, say we get a call in 3 years, boom, 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 somebody over here tripping. Man, a black person when they come down to the hood, right, the first thing they ain't gonna be nervous, right?
Yeah.
Because they grew up with these people. Some of their families still live in those neighborhoods
Yeah.
because they policing some of their own communities, and they gonna go down there and say, "Hey, man, what's going on, Junebug? Why you tripping, man? Come on, you can't be doing that, blah blah blah." And they might just be able to talk to somebody, calm the situation down. May not even have to make no arrest and say, "Man, come on, man, get it together, whatnot," and then they might be out. But a white cop may go in there hostile. I'm going into the project.
Nervous.
It's 10, 11 o'clock at night. Nervous. He got a pen on his pistol. He caught ready, loaded.
Yeah.
Anything go wrong, he pulling.
He letting go, and you can't even blame him because that's how he was trained, and now he nervous. You put him in a nervous, hostile situation. That's crazy. That's true though, fam.
You go to Atlanta, and I mean, there's so many black cops in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
It's like it
And
hurt too.
so, it's like in Charlotte.
Yeah, it's they all over the place. I don't even see too many white ones, fam.
Yeah, we need a balance, man. So and we gotta quit saying, man, we gotta quit thinking that way about like cops and the hip hop. Because I mean, going back to hip hop, right? Hip hop is really just a reflection of what's going on, right? Like
And
we can't
yeah,
blame hip hop and say that that's destroying the community. Because the reality is, a lot of them brothers and sisters come from the communities or the inner cities, and they just making
they
music
just
on what they see.
they just rapping their reality. Can Let me give you a perspective. Don't want to leave the police topic yet, those fam,
Okay,
because
okay,
I was talking to Troy the other day about something like I don't have kids. Y'all brothers have
okay.
kids, and I was thinking like when I was raised up and grew up in the hood or whatever, everybody feared the police. They were scared of them, and it made me scared of them before I even knew what they was. I was fearful of them. Like, why don't in the black community we raise our kids to know the police while they're young, grow up, talk to them, and you know what I mean? Instead of when your kid is in the back seat and he's young and he riding with you, you like, oh, there go the police, and you nervous and you know what I mean? You don't got driver's license as a father. You nervous, so you training the kid to be nervous before they even know who the police is. Why we do that, fam?
And go back to victimhood, right? And so black
Yeah,
people are, and people gonna say what they said about me. I don't care. It
me
is
too,
what it is.
fam. It don't
But
matter.
it don't matter because I lived in the neighborhood to survive. And so me, I lived in that community and did the complete opposite what everybody else did. And I walked a path by myself at times. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But going back to that, why are black people afraid of the police, especially in those kind of neighborhoods like you just talked about?
I can't explain it. Like I don't now.
You
But
don't want to say it. They
because
because they dirty.
we
They got
doing
a gun
something.
on them that
Yeah,
they ain't right. They got a gun on them that they ain't supposed to have. That's not registered. A felon that has a gun on them. They got dope on them.
yeah,
They might got a warrant out. So forth and so forth. Or they got weed on them.
yeah.
Because the thing is, and so they like, man, I got the police. Man, because when you legal and legit, man, I don't care about the police.
You ain't even
I got
think.
my gun everywhere I go. But I got a concealed weapons permit. I
Dang.
don't care about the police. I don't stop. I don't get nervous to go the other way. Pull me over. I'm completely legit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so
yeah,
I tell my kids, hey, instead of police, if they do pull us over, be respectful, sir, ma'am. I roll all the windows down, turn the lights on. And just comply because I ain't got nothing on me that's
I
dirty.
ain't doing nothing wrong. That's crazy.
I ain't doing nothing.
I could tell I've been removed from the lifestyle for a long time because I damn near forgot how to answer that question. They dirty. They doing
They
something against the
dirty.
law.
And nobody want to say it. They
Yeah,
got something on them. They dirty. And
yeah.
so they like, man, they're going to laws. The only reason you worried about the police because you got something going on.
That,
Because if you ain't got nothing going on, then I don't care. Let 20 of them ride down the street. I don't care. You have no reason to come bother me. And if you do, somebody turn the camera on, record it. Hey, sir, ma'am, I'm legit. Blah, blah. You want to see license?
yeah,
It wouldn't bother me. It
yeah.
wouldn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? I
And
ain't going to get hostile with them. Yeah.
that's true, man. It all go back to victimhood. Right when you came on, you spoke about victimhood, and that's what it all go back to. We
All that too, just blaming somebody else because of the decisions that you made. You know what I'm saying? And
that's
then when we
true.
talk about the police, man, we talk about I hate how see we ain't had a black death by the police in months now, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know we had one this year.
Nah, we had
So
one
it's
recent.
probably
We had one recently, and that was crazy.
oh in Akron,
Yeah,
Ohio.
dude
Yeah,
got
they let that boy out. That was excessive force.
yeah,
That was excessive
that
force.
was crazy, fam.
Now going back to that, right?
hmm
The brother did not comply with the law. So we got to take ownership of that too, right?
Yeah,
He
you got.
didn't pull over. He was speeding. He took off on the chase. He was, you know what I mean? So he put himself in a bad situation. Not saying that they should have responded that way,
Yeah,
but guess what? You don't, you don't put yourself in that situation to make them respond because they're gonna respond how they respond, and you
the
can't control their response because you didn't apply with the first rule, which was to pull over.
I,
You get what I'm saying?
I would tell a brother nowadays the way the world is set up. Like, if you plan on not complying, you better be the one shooting. For real, it's just that simple.
Yeah,
I know that
yeah.
it sound harsh and it don't sound right, but you might as well just get out the car shooting first if you're just gonna take off and do something crazy because they're gonna lay you down with the quickness.
Man, we got it. Like I be thinking, like I ain't a supporter of Black Lives Matter. I've been telling you this
Me
from
neither,
the
fam.
beginning, bro.
We did that on
Bro,
the Two
they
Brothers.
that if you go back and look at the original mission statement, we got these three gay women
hmm
who are anti-black males in the family, right?
Anti-masculine.
And that is anti-masculine. That kind of found out that they are married to white women. One of them is married to a white transgender person.
Yeah.
So we could already see what some of their agendas are.
hmm
But when we, so I was like, man, I ain't getting down with that because we only care about when cops shoot somebody. Man, people in the hood die every day. Ain't nobody. You don't see the Black Lives Matter movement in there trying to help clean up the community.
Yeah.
They come in there for the profit. See, and then bring the cameras in there. They sell T-shirts.
Yeah.
Boom. And guess what? There we are 3 years later, 4 years later, and we done seen they done made millions.
And you and
One girl got 3 houses in LA,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and the money is gone. She gave her cousin a million. She gave her uncle a million. Talking about that was security.
hmm
Come on, man. I
Yeah.
never was fooled by that.
I
But
mean,
look what it did to the community, though. They went and freaking tore down a lot of communities, burnt the whole street down, bro.
yeah. Yeah.
The whole street. I'm talking about Wendy's, McDonald's, Target,
Yeah.
the downtown. Guess what? My mama, my uncle, my cousin, they work in them same establishments where that $10, $15 an hour, they needed that money. And
Yeah.
you burnt that down.
Yeah.
You burnt that down for what? And then guess what? Then the people got to come back in and clean it up. And then guess what? The city and the county gonna put the money in to come back and clean it up. But they're gonna tax you on the back end.
Yeah. and you
But
might get paid
because the
less.
businesses, yeah, because the businesses that don't have insurance, okay, some of them. Remember, some of the businesses didn't even have insurance, man. They
Yeah.
had to start GoFundMe. Now
Man.
the public places, the streets and stuff, the county and the city gonna come in and clean up, and they gonna pay for it, but they gonna tax you on the back end for it.
And
So what was the purpose of doing that?
man, I remember when that the police officer shot this dude in Charlotte. The first week I moved her, fam. The first week I moved her, they tore down the Walmart and everything. Like, they moms and pops could have worked at the Walmart. It wasn't 24 hours no more. All the restaurants was closed down. Like, all the gas stations was closed earlier. That have an effect on you. You turn up where you live at, and then you need funding from the state and the government to build it back up, man. And they went from $20 an hour to $12 an hour. It's just hurting you more than it's helping you.
Man, I was seeing something else too, man, where states now, like New York just passed a law where they trying to use lyrics against the artists in court, right?
Yeah.
And the artists are mad, but the reality is that with this new drill and murder music they got going on, they rapping about the crimes they committed like idiots. They on live banging. They on Instagram putting it up. They putting it out there. They like when you see the black lady that did the YSL indictment. She said, "Man, social media is our best tool."
Yeah.
I mean, it's the number one tool we use.
A lack of
Besides that, and
knowledge.
confidential informant,
And them
because they
dude,
tell on themselves.
yeah, you telling on yourself, that's crazy though, fam. A lack of knowledge getting you locked up. You getting yourself locked up for a lack of knowledge. You showing the crimes and committing the crimes and putting the crimes on the internet and on your in your social media story, and you
Exactly.
making a job easier for the police. They ain't got to do
Why
nothing.
wouldn't they use your lyrics against you? Bruh, think about it. Like I just said, if you don't commit crimes, you don't have to worry about the law.
You ain't got nothing to hide.
So you mad because they want to use your lyrics, but you mad because you committed that crime and now they're gonna use your lyrics to help support their evidence that
Yeah,
they have.
that's true.
Come on, bro.
That's
Like
true.
again, you committed the crime, so you made the choice. You wrote the songs and recorded it and put it out. How you gonna get mad at somebody else? That's
You
their playing victimhood again. And so
yeah.
now the states are talking about, okay, we're gonna go and we're gonna start using their lyrics against them. But I was looking at this lawyer, DJ Blair has this lawyer named Mo Gangat,
Yeah, yeah.
Gandat.
I follow him
Yeah.
on
So
Instagram, fam.
right, but don't get caught up by him because he's very popular. But if you actually know what he does, he's a HR business lawyer, like with HR complaints stuff. He's not a criminal
He's
defense
not a
lawyer. He
criminal
tells he,
lawyer.
he tells Vlad that all the time. But he got his Instagram fame from reporting on these criminal law cases, which that is not his subject matter expertise, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he did say that that in the future it's looking like they want to start holding the record companies
Accountable.
responsible for available. Because think about it, who makes more money, the record companies or the artists?
The record company invest in the
The record
artist.
company,
Yeah. So the artist can
and they
glorify the foolishness. Man, that's crazy.
right. So they distribute it. How they do it? The label they own it, they distribute it. You know, they advertise it, market it, whatever.
Yeah.
So they're trying to say again, if you're going back to victimhood, so they're trying to say, well, we got to start holding them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Just like now, just like in the '80s and the '90s, when my daddy and your uncle and your cousin was smoking crack, they told us what? Just say no. They said,
Just
just say no.
yeah.
But now that the white kids, if you know about demographics, you know that
Whew.
35.8% of America is white,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
75.8% of America is white.
Mm-hmm.
So the white kids are on the pills, the meth, and the fentanyl.
Yeah.
Now what they're doing, they ain't just saying no now. Now they targeting the people who are distributing.
Yeah.
So if I sell you cocaine laced fentanyl with fentanyl, they gonna give me time because you overdose on it.
Yeah. And you might not even know that fentanyl in it because you purchased it from your distributor, and now you getting time for something that you didn't even know.
But what they don't realize is they want fentanyl. Go to this. There's a YouTube page called Soft White Underbelly, right?
Yeah.
You ever seen that dude out of LA?
Nah.
He always interviewed Soft White Underbelly. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
He interviewed all the homeless people, crack kids, blah blah. Brad, do you know people want fentanyl? Fentanyl ain't on the streets it's on the streets for a reason.
Because people want it.
The some people actually want the fentanyl,
Do you
and
think
so
drugs? Do you think drugs should be legalized in America? My fault for cutting you off
they
too.
they almost are. So I sent you a thing right last
Mm-hmm.
week where Joe Biden doing the 1994 crime bill. Remember? I don't know if you looked at the clip,
I looked
but
at it.
he kept holding that up. He said one piece of crack cocaine is going to give you 5 years.
Yeah, a quarter piece.
Remember he said that?
Yeah, if it looked
Yeah,
like
okay.
yeah.
5 years for each piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you see what's going on this week, right? His son, his new video came out, and he got cocaine, the hookers, prostitutes, blah blah. He
Man,
spent $30,000 over it.
yeah.
Right. And you notice Joe Biden now is all for legalizing these drugs. Right? He's like, well, it's non-violent. We
Because
should start going
yeah,
after other stuff instead of drugs.
because
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
affecting his home. So now he have a
Let me tell you
different
something, man.
perspective. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The law don't care about drugs, man. The law don't care about drugs,
I,
man. I am convinced that our government, nor any other government in the world, care about drugs. We know for 70 years that the majority of the coca leaf plants are grown in Colombia. Columbia is smaller than the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
So every mountainous region in Colombia where the cocaine plants are grown at, we could have easily wiped those fields out
I ain't even
because
think
we
about
know
that.
that.
I ain't even think about that. It
But
was smaller than the state of Tennessee, fam.
it's a small little country in South America.
They
So think about it. If they wanted to stop drugs, they would stop where it's being grown at.
they
The,
could
the
have
plant
nuked that.
itself.
They could have nuked
Could
it.
have been. They could have nuked that plant, put a chemical on it where that ground would have never produced another plant again. We
Yeah.
do that with Roundup on the grass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
But they
If we
want
get
it.
rid of drugs, we got to get rid of doctors, lawyers, law enforcement, counselors, rehab facilities, probation officers. I
And
mean, do you want me to keep going down the line?
you can keep going.
Correction officers.
Yeah, that's big business.
Man, drugs make the world. Drug brings money to the world.
So that means it'll never be legalized, fam, because you're killing off 100 jobs, 200 jobs if
But
they
why you think
legalize.
they want to? Why you think they want to legalize marijuana? They're like, man, if people ain't gonna quit smoking weed, might as well just go ahead and legalize it, man. No taxes, get a percentage of it.
But they ain't gonna legalize it till they find a way that they can make a profit for themselves off of it, though. That's when they're
States
gonna.
aren't. The federal government ain't right now, but states, yeah, okay, well, we'll tax it, we'll regulate it. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
that's because you gonna smoke it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And me myself, you know, I don't smoke weed, but bro, you can't tell me that weed is more harmful than alcohol.
It don't do nothing but relax
You can't
man.
tell me. You can't tell me, dude. When you drink too much and you try to drive, man, come on.
Cigarettes are more harmful than marijuana, but that's another story though. Because then
it's another story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story, man. Hey, when I get off this pod, fam, I gotta hit you back and we gotta further the discussion, man. I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate you calling into the show and supporting me, man. This gonna have a part 3, fam.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep it going, man. All right, fam, I'll let you get back to it.
I'm gonna hit you.
Hit me up anytime.
I'm gonna hit you up in about 5 minutes, family.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. Hey. Do y'all want a part 3? Talk to me in the comment section, man. Is hip hop contributing to the destruction of the black community? This part 2. My boy Lex, my boy Scoop. They blew it out the frame, man. Real talk. Peace, love, plenty abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. I'm calling niggas back and all type of shit, man. Pressing buttons. I'm out.